Well, hello there, pilgrims. Good morning on stage 10, day 11 of the Via de la Plata. And we have a rainy day. Yes, we cannot avoid it. We had one yesterday as well. But yesterday I was resting. Actually, I pretty much didn't leave my room almost the entire day because I was planning all my stages for the Camino Frances in reverse and making all the reservations. And I think I got it down to like 90% of them all, which is great. Leaving the town at 7:43, it is 8 degrees Celsius. Oh my God, look at the ruins back there. I wanted to walk in that direction, but mud, mud, river crossings. That's what I see in the future for me today. If I can take the road at any moment, rather than walking in the path, in the muddy path, I will do just that. Look at that river. It's gonna be a crazy day. It's gonna be a crazy day. Let's get it started. There's nothing else we can do. Just face it. This vlog and this series are brought to you by Garcia Dreams. Together, we build a better future. Could it possibly be? I don't believe this. Look at the sky, man. The clouds just clear up. I put away the poncho and the umbrella. It's not as cold as it was this morning. It's 9 o'clock already, and I made it to this Roman lake. Haha, man, things are changing, and they're changing fast. But look at the mud. Yes, I've been walking next to this road for the whole time, and I think it's gonna be the same way for the next 10 kilometers or so. Today is gonna be a 33-kilometer day. It was supposed to be 36, but I found this hostel, you might say it, on the side of the road that has its own restaurant 3 kilometers before that town. And then the Camino the next day avoids the town completely, so I don't even have to go there. I don't know. I found it the day before yesterday and I just pulled the trigger. If you guys want to know how I make all my reservations, it's pretty simple. I use Gronce.com. That's a Spanish website that has all the caminos, and I mean all of them. They're listed there. They show you the elevation profile, the stages, the accommodations along the way, and the only thing is that their stages usually are a bit too long. So I just use it as reference, just to lay out you know, the the stages on my list, and then I start modifying them. The ones that are super long, I kind of break them in half if it's possible. As I've done already on the Camino Frances, I think my longest day is going to be 30 kilometers, and that's just because I want to go to a specific albergue that I've always wanted to stay there, because if not, it would have been a 23-kilometer day. So yeah, and then I use bookings.com whenever it's available to make the reservation. As you guys know, in bookings, you can hold the reservation up to a few days before. So you can pre-book the entire trip, and then if you don't need it, you can start canceling a week or so before that you're supposed to get there. And if not, if they don't have a bookings presence, then you can just call them. I have an international plan, unlimited data plan for 3 months that also has a few minutes included in there. I don't really know how many, but I've been just calling since I speak Spanish. That's a huge plus. And then there are others where they don't answer, and I just send them an email, and I got a reply from one of them yesterday. I'm still waiting for 3. This is for the Frances. On this one, I have everything booked, and there are a few places where I'm gonna stay in municipals. Today was supposed to be one of them, but today is a long day. It is a long day, and it is also Sunday. As you guys know, Sundays are not great for pilgrims or hikers alike when we're out here, because most of the businesses close. So yesterday, the light bulb went off in my head, and I went to the supermarket and I bought a bunch of stuff for today's, including for breakfast, because I checked on Google Maps and all the bars will start opening around 8 o'clock or 9. And on a 33-kilometer day, I need to leave early. So I bought, what was it? Bread, ham, cheese. I got an Aquarius. I got a protein shake. I got a banana. And I got a box of Nature Valley bars, which I will be snacking on those for the next few days. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's a bar in this town. There's a town on either side of the lake. And let's just explore it and see what I find. But just the fact that it's blue skies, it just put a twist on today's stage that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a rainy day. The day's still young, so. I find myself in the town of Carrascalejo. It is 11 in the morning. I've been walking already since 7:30, and I'm past the 25% of the way. I still got 20 kilometers to go, and this will be a town where you can stop if you want to cut the stage in half. Well, not in half. You will be doing a short day followed by a 20-kilometer day, so not too bad at all. There was nothing by the lake. There was no restaurants that were open. Looking at Google Maps, they all start to open around noon, 1 p.m. So let's hope that there's something in this one. Now, I'm back out into the fields, the rolling hills with the scattered trees, which I seem to like so much. I like this landscape that I find myself in right now. It's just incredible, peaceful. There's nobody else around except for this lady here. And if there's nothing at the burger, which I see over there, then I can always have either the apple, the Nature Valley snack, or even the sandwich. Unfortunately, the church is closed. That seems to be the recurring thing on the caminos in Spain. Now that burger does not look open. I mean, I do see a guy outside. Is it open? Is it not open? Are those pilgrims? This albergue is so surreal. It seems to be in the middle of nowhere. And just my luck, the bar was open, so it's all like the same compound. I guess the lady that gave me the coffee is the one that takes care of the pilgrims and does the meal. She was already starting to crack some eggs. And just checking over my GPS tracks, there's another town not far from here, like probably a kilometer away, with a bunch of accommodations options there. So maybe, just maybe, there's a place there where I can have lunch and I'll save the sandwich for later. You know, I always have a backup plan, even if I don't use it, because today it is Sunday and it's just one of about 5 extremely long days with little support that I have in my schedule. Although I may cut it in, 3 kilometers short, it's supposed to be 36 today. Then tomorrow I have a short day. Tomorrow is not supposed to rain. I mean, today was supposed to rain and it didn't, which is great. And then the day after, to Cañaveral, I think, is when I do have a really long day. Is that the day after or the day after that? Who knows? I'm losing track. But what I do see is the Cruzeiro. An open church in town. Now that is really a sight. This town has it has everything. It has the church. It has a bar right across the street. There are plenty of Camino symbols in this town. I feel like I'm being welcome here. And I just went to the bar just to have a bite to eat. I asked for a caña, and then just curious what would they have to eat. She says something tortilla, and I'm like, I'll have the tortilla. I haven't had tortilla española here in Spain in the whole 10 plus days that I've been here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's something that they eat more in the north. But little surprise, it was a full-size tortilla, too much for one person. So I ate about half with some bread and the caña, and that was my lunch. Now I have a sandwich back there that I'm probably gonna snack on today, maybe tomorrow morning. 20 kilometers to go with a 200-meter climb. So that's about 10 meters per kilometer, which I don't think it would be too bad. I can see the clouds rolling in slowly. There's a shift in the weather, in the wind. It's getting a little cooler, meaning that we may have afternoon showers. Yeah, it happens. If it happens, it happens. All right. Goodbye, civilization, and back out into the countryside. This is definitely my jam. I love this type of landscape with the rolling hills, the sheep grazing there. Look at the flowers. I mean, picture perfect landscape. And I get thrown off a little bit because when I check my phone, when I see the satellite pictures with my GPS tracks on it, I guess the picture was taken in the summer and everything looks brown and dead. And I'm like, wow, is that what I have up ahead? And then I come across this. I think this is the best season to do this Camino, for sure. Saw a couple of guys on motorcycles, and you know that I like to do the Camino in different modes of transportations. I've done it, walking. I drove it. I did it on an e-bike. In Japan, for the first week, I had a scooter. I've done sections on horseback. And I do want to do a full Camino on horseback. That's why my son is taking horseback riding lessons right now, because that may be in the near future. But motocross is what I always wanted to do when I was a little kid in Cuba, and I never really got into it. I just stayed with the bicycles. But to do this Camino on motocross, I mean, I've seen it everywhere. And these are not pilgrims. Of course, these are just locals enjoying their landscape. But I've seen it in France on the Via Podienses. I've seen it in sections of the Portuguese, on the Frances, now here. So who knows? Who knows? I definitely want to do the Via Francigena, maybe with my dad and my brother on Harleys. Just leave London and make our way down to Rome. Oh, that would be an epic adventure. Look at this. So real. is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, past the 75% of the way, meaning that I only have 5 kilometers left on today's stage. Am I firing on all cylinders? Yes, yes I am. It must have been that rest day yesterday. The path, as you can see, has become a river. But my feet are dry because I'm just trying to avoid the water as much as possible. In some sections, the streams, they have these stone pillars where you can walk across. In other ones, just a few strategically placed rocks. And then other ones where you just can't avoid it. And you either go away from the path and then come back, or you're just jumping around. Look at this one here. Perfect example. I've only had the company of the cattle because I haven't seen anybody else today. I don't know where everybody is. I haven't seen a Pilgrim since the day before yesterday when I was doing laundry, and that subscriber recognized me. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's see if today I find someone. I'm gonna be staying in the hostel, in the restaurant on the side of the road, where the rooms are 15 euros, which is not bad at all. I was just reading on Gronce that the monastery where I was supposed to head today, it has mixed reviews. Some pilgrims say that the beds or the mattresses are horrible, that you can't sleep on them. Other ones are saying that the food is not great, and I don't know. I tried to read a few reviews and not just go by what one person says. But when you get the same thing over and over again, I don't know. Been a constant climb, very gradual, I may say, and when you take a day off, you're feeling strong. Days off I have mixed feelings about them. Yes, I do need to rest. I need to let my body, get over all this walking that I'm doing. But at the same time, I feel like a car that just got parked in the garage, and I just want to go, man. I want to go. I've been walking for 10 days already, and your body doesn't want to stop once it finds its groove. So that is my mixed feelings when it comes to rest days. The next one is gonna be Salamanca in Castilla y León. When I make it to Salamanca, I think I will be at the closest point to Madrid. I've noticed that the sunrises and the sunset are changing now. It used to be that the sunrise was at 8. Now I think it's about 7:45 in the morning. And at night, it keeps getting pushed up. I think by the time I make it to France, after walking the Frances, the sunset should be around 10:30 already. And I should be in full summer mode with my my fan right here. It's gonna be a different Camino for sure. All right, let's continue. It is 4:30. Made it to this place, Los Olivos, which is it's just one of those little motels on the side of the road. It was full of people down there, not just in the bar where I was doing all the check-in, but also in the restaurant. They have dinner tonight. Let me see if I can open this, get some lighting here. Oh, yes. Oh, just the view of a gas station. So yeah, dinner's gonna be at 8:30 tonight. And I have this room, which is, can you imagine, 15 euros for this? 2 beds with my own private bathroom. I got to that split around 4 o'clock. All the arrows were pointing right, but I knew I had to make a left turn, cut through the olive groves, and get out into the open, into the road. And I found this place right away. Tomorrow, instead of having to backtrack and go through the town and the monastery, I just gotta follow a path that's right next to the road, and they both reconnect like a kilometer or so down the line. Tomorrow's gonna be a 25-kilometer day. Today was a massive one. It's always more than what they tell you. Let's see. 34.75. It was supposed to be 36. 2,000 calories. Highest elevation 454. Distance 34. Wow, average speed 3.9. In case you guys were wondering, the workout, I walked for 8 hours and 47 minutes. But in there, you have to include the time that I spent at the other place where I had the bocadillo, or the improvised bocadillo, the tortilla with bread and a beer. Man, I saw so many things today. Today, I thought it was going to be just one of those days where it's just raining and I'm just walking and guarding all my equipment. But it turned out to be a really good one. It's just a shame that I didn't see anybody. But that's how it goes. Have you noticed that I'm not having any more issues with my gear or bumping into the walls? I think I'm already settled into the Pilgrim routine out here on the Via de la Plata. And it's going to be a never evolving process. Even when I get into the Camino Frances, it's going to be a new experience because I'm going to be crashing up against a wall of pilgrims every single day. And then when I make it to France, it will just be the halfway point of the trip. This is going to be so surreal, so incredible. All right, let's take a shower. See if I can do a little laundry. Let me see if I can improvise a clothesline somewhere here. Or else I have to wait until tomorrow. I could probably check and see if tomorrow they have a washer and a dryer. Oh, please have one. Please. Not another soul staying here. I just had dinner at 8:30. And just the people there in the bar were just a family member, I think. And it was like a home atmosphere. And they were talking about the weather over the next few days. I had a plato combinado, which was, let's see, lomo, eggs, fries, a salad, and red wine. And I had to get a bottle of water because the pipes here are so rusty, so much rust. You know, when I was taking a shower, you could see that the color of the water had this rust color to it, which was, it was something else. I'm not used to it, but it's okay. The room looks nice, man. I don't know why people are complaining about this place. The bathtub looks new. It's just, I guess, the plumbing. And I have a heater where right now I have it set up to dry all my clothes. I did laundry in the sink. And I just been laying around here, just charging my electronics as usual, and I'm just passing the time. Tomorrow is gonna be a short 20+ kilometer day. I have like 2 days back to back that are in the low 20s, and then we're gonna start tackling those 30-kilometer days where I can't break them up. I'm sorry. The longest day is gonna be 38 kilometers. Which is probably going to be closer to 40, but that's how it goes. What else? I got water, I got my stuff, charging, huge bed. It's cold. I got the heater. That's how it goes. Who's the troll angel of the day? But Joseph De Leon. Thank you so much, my friend. You're always dropping some troll magic. Really appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow, 7 a.m. Yeah, let's do that.